Fail me now. Those are hot chips. Oh my God, you're gonna lose a finger.
It gets me excited.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Funny Factory, aka Yeti Machine Co. Thank you guys for watching. So we are back hardtailing the Shovelhead. I have worked on it a little bit. I started bending up some back legs. I got more material, so I was able to start on the top legs. I'll be honest, this is my first time building a hardtail for a bike, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip. I think these legs are still gonna work. I bent these lower ones up. They fit, hang on. They fit pretty damn good. I think I nailed the angles, but I don't like how much the rear axle plates are moving around. So I'm gonna re-fixture these axle plates, and then we're gonna keep it moving. Basically what I'm gonna do, so I know that our width we want is 9 inches. I know that this width is 2 inches. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5.
Check out the big brain on
Yeti.
You're a smart mother. That's right.
So I want 4 3.5 inch exactly long pieces. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? If you guys don't already subscribe, do me a favor. Go down, hit the subscribe button. If you like what you're watching, give this video a like. If you want to support me directly, I've got shirts and I've got hats over here. I've actually got some new shirts that are in black, long sleeves, got prints on the sleeves, got front, got back. I also have them in, wait a second. Bruh. Safety orange, sorry about that last one. This is so if you're going down the highway, the semi-trucks can see you better before they run you down like a dog. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching. If you want one, go up there. I already said that. Thanks, bye. Wait, I almost myself. I forgot. These plates are 1/4 of an inch. So it's not 3.5, it's 3 1/4 is what I'm cutting it to. Being real precise right now. Okay. I've got to make 4 of these. Battery's almost dead. Come on, don't fail me now. Bitch. Real quick. Those are hot chips. Pushing it for all of you guys. That's basically going to replace this whole stack up. So that's the idea. So now I just need to make 3 more as close to exactly that dimension as possible. Obviously this moves the axle plate forward a little bit on the jig, so I'm going to have to move the actual jig back a tad, but that's okay. Okay. Oh yeah, it's way more sturdy. The axle plates got moved forward because I pushed the axle adjusters against the quote-unquote axles. It's exactly where we need it to be.
What did you have to change?
I just had to tweak it a little bit to get the angles correct on the plate because they were kicked down a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna make some slugs. It's gonna be for the bottom legs. So I got some material for that. This is 1 inch, but it's got a really thick wall. So what that allows me to do is trim it down on the lathe so that it'll fit in the idea of this and in the idea of that. Now we want to double check. These should be about the same dimension within a couple thou. I don't know how accurate they were making tubing in the 70s, but, or 80s, I mean. Okay, we got 839, 838. 815. Okay. Damn. That sucks. The wall thickness on that tubing is thinner than the wall thickness on this tubing. So, I gotta get a little crafty. So what I'm gonna do then is make one side 1 OD and one side just a little bit bigger, which sucks, but it's what we got to work with here. And we got it just right. Nice little slug. So now I got to turn the other side down. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. I'm going to do the other side, obviously. But what I'll do is I will drill a hole on the frame, plug weld the plug into the frame. When I slide this on, I'll have another hole drilled into the other leg, probably on both sides, plug weld both, and then we'll do a full bead around the edge. And that'll be pretty nice. All right, so we've got our slugs in. What I went ahead and did is popped a hole in the original frame, and the hole in the new leg goes from here. Goes into the bottom as well. What we'll do is we'll plug weld there, weld there. Bottom legs came out pretty dang good. Pretty stoked on it. Pretty stoked on how the frame's looking. So the next thing I'm working on is this top leg. So I've already done this one. Basically set it how far back I want on the frame by trimming this. And then I went ahead and used my notcher. Got a really nice fit up for the most part. May need a little bit of massaging. But the next is I gotta match this one. So I've got my notcher set up. This is a Harbor Freight notcher. Eventually I'll spend some money on a nicer one. But got the old Harbor Freight hole saw. But yeah, so next one is gonna be notching this guy. Boom. We got our notch. After a little bit of finagling, got our back legs done. This thing's gonna look cool. Not too wide, not too skinny. So before I do any welding, I need to finish all the grinding I'm gonna do in here, just because it's gonna be a lot harder to get to once these are in the way. But yeah. Pretty stoked on how this thing's coming out. So
many months later.
Well, we're back again on the old Shovelhead. Went ahead and tacked up these lower rails. Got everything tacked really good. So I've got a sleeve inside here, tacked above and below, drilled some holes, tacked up here. I went ahead and cut off and welded the motor mount. So before I go any further with final welding, we're gonna do a fitment check on the engine, and then we're gonna pull the frame out, get a nice roller, get a stance check, and hopefully have Dylan come in and have a seat on it. So the only reason why I'm gonna leave the frame in the jig is because it's easier picking the motor up than setting it on the ground. So what I'm gonna do is get this motor plate out, probably loosen this guy up a little bit, and lift the frame enough to slide this portion of the jig out, and then it kind of gives us a little bit of a better bench to, to set up the motor. So there. Got it? Yeah. Right. 100 pounds, there we go. Okay. We're lined up, we're good. That's it. Damn.
Look at that gap.
Yep, that's how it's supposed to be, dude. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That makes me excited.
A quarter of an inch lower.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's a super tight fit.
Yeah.
When it fits, so hell yeah. Dude, that's like a perfect fit. That's pretty damn good for fucking eyeballing it. Dude, this thing's gonna be fucking rad. It's gonna be a cool bike. I'm excited. Seeing the motor in the frame is like,
It gets me excited.
so we got the motor set in there, and now I'm just being a fucking nerd. I know I still gotta cut the casting off of the frame, but I wanna just get a decent look. So that's close to where it's gonna be. It's gonna sit down about another inch in the front. So now we're gonna pull the engine back out. I just wanted to test fit it. I'm gonna pull the frame out. I'm gonna get the front end mocked on there. And then we're gonna do some of the spacing on the rear wheel. I'm gonna let it sit on its own tires, and then we're gonna pop the motor in and see how it looks on the ground. I posted a reel about this a long time ago, but what I did is I took stock neck cups and I turned them down just a little bit, put some O-rings on here, and what this allows me to do for mock-up purposes is they just they don't press in anymore, they just pop in. So it makes mock-up a lot easier instead of having to press them in and press it out. Our bad boy front end here, come on down. Got the front end on. Right now I'm gonna try to slide the rear wheel on here. Got this CCI 3-spoke setup we got from Beef Spot. Shout out to Beef Spot. So this wheel is a little bit wider than what factory would run, and that's kind of why I set this this rear end up to be this wide. So I think I nailed it pretty good with the width. It's going to leave enough space for the sprocket and the brake rotor. So now I got to get my spacers and kind of set up the rear axle of this thing. Again, we're just mocking this thing up. So a bunch of different spacers from good old Lowbrow. So I'm going to try to rig this up. Basically, we run these spacers and that locks into the adjuster, and that's how we do it. So it operates a little bit differently than like the factory panhead axle plates, but I think it's gonna look really good. We got the rear wheel mocked up. Lowbrow makes this really cool kit. It's a 16-piece axle spacer kit, and it's got a bunch of different sizes. So you guys that don't have lathes, I mean, I could sit here and make a bunch of different spacers, but what's nice is having these. Now, obviously the axle's way too long. I'm gonna end up having to trim that. That's why I got this spacer on here. But what's nice about having this spacer kit is I can make a stack up of the dimension that I need. And now when I go to make my spacers, I can just take that stack, measure it, and make my cool spacer or whatever I wanna do. So rear wheels on, front wheels on. I think this thing has a great fucking stance, personally. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop the motor off the bench. I'm gonna throw the kickstand in this thing, and we'll get a real final mock-up. that's it for this one. Got the mock-up all done. Super excited how it looks. Obviously, we're gonna be chopping this fender up a little bit. Yet to be decided, because I was just talking to Dippy, and we might actually keep the sides of this fender. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on how this thing's sitting.
All right, well, that wraps it up for this time. If you like what you saw here today, go ahead and like, follow, and subscribe at Yeti Machine Co. And buy a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah, if you like what you watch, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, TikTok too. It's at Yeti Machine Co. Thanks for watching, y'all.